Hi, this is Colin Clark, editor of Breaking Defense, here with Carter Ham,
Yes.
head of the Association of the United States Army, which runs the biggest conference in Washington, D.C., which we are attending right now. It's their annual meetings at which everybody who's anybody in the Army appears. Couple of basic questions for you. The world that you occupy and that the Army occupy has changed a great deal in the last couple of years. How does the role of big industry association like yours and your trade show change in reaction to what's gone on in Capitol Hill, the way that the defense industry has changed?
Well, I think it's encapsulated in our mission statement, where the Association of the United States Army says we are the voice for the Army and we support for the soldier. So as the conditions change, as the security environment changes that necessitates adaptation of the Army, we're involved in advancing the discussion from an educational basis of what the requirements of a future Army may be. So a platform like this, our annual meeting, which has multiple purposes, principally focused on professional development and educating and informing, we think gives an opportunity for Army leadership and other thought leaders that can lay out their vision for the future.
So in that sense, AUSA hasn't really changed that much over the last 10 years or so.
Well, I think we've changed dramatically over the past several years, but the core mission hasn't really changed all that much. We remain an organization principally focused on educating and informing. So
how have you changed?
Well, we've changed partly in structure. We're a little bit smaller now than we have been before. I think we're a little more adept and adroit at using social media, for example, using various capabilities to help tell the story of the Army more broadly across the nation. We've increased our presence, not just across the nation, but across the globe. We now have 119 chapters that cover all of the United States and many places overseas where the United States Army is present.
Okay. And what's the big idea animating the Army right now from what you're hearing from the 4 stars and the sergeants as you go through the show?
Well, we just stepped away from a presentation by General Mark Milley, the Army's Chief of Staff, where he reinforced the priority of the Army, which he outlined first at this meeting last year, the Army's #1 priority of building readiness to meet the nation's military requirements. And as General Milley would say, readiness is #1, and there is no other #1. This year, just in the past hour or so, he said, while that remains true, near-term readiness is and must be the Army's #1 priority. They are starting to put more attention, more intellectual energy, more resources in building future readiness. And as General Milley would describe it, the character of war is changing, evolving. It's a little unclear still of what those changes may be, but armed conflict in 2025, 2040, 2050 is going to be different than armed conflict today. So General Milley is working hard to get the Army and all of its partners in industry and think tanks and academia to start thinking, how do we build that Army that will be prepared to meet those future challenges?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you very much.